Our tutorial today is looking at Scottish asylum or mental health records. From the 1st of January 1858, there are admission forms for every patient admitted to a lunatic asylum in Scotland. The admission forms are comprehensive, giving details about the patient, facts observed by doctors and facts observed by other people. The form asks for the supposed cause. Some examples are premature birth, a fall on the head as a child, or intemperance. You can't help wonder that the intemperance might have been a symptom, not a cause. But even though they might be inaccurate, these help us to understand why someone was in the asylum, what the circumstances were. Also on the admission forms, we see two doctors' accounts of the facts of the case and also what they observed. Again, these can help us to understand the circumstances. Some are really quite sad. In this one we see that a mother was saying that her son was being called Daft Jock by the children. It is sad, but it does help us to understand why a relative may have had to go to an asylum. Although they may not answer all our questions, they are revealing. The volume's called The Notices of Admissions by the Superintendent of Mental Institutions are held by the National Records of Scotland in Edinburgh. The volumes that are over 100 years old can be accessed. The more recent ones are closed to the public. These volumes are arranged by date of admission, usually one volume per month. Sometimes there's 2 volumes per month. Searching the volumes, though, for the patient would be very impractical if you don't know when they were admitted to an asylum. Even if you knew a year, you could have 12 volumes to search. If you knew they were admitted between the census dates, you could have 10 years to search. That's a lot of volumes. The General Register of Lunatics in Asylums will help us. Again, this record begins in 1858. But it actually records everyone already in an asylum on the 1st of January 1858, and that can be helpful. As you see, this is a more basic volume, but it gives the date of admission, and that is what you need to find the admission forms. Let's take the example of Jean McTavish in McAlpine. Notice she has a patient ID number. That ID number should remain the same throughout her life. So if somebody was released and then readmitted, theoretically they will have the same ID number. Jean was admitted on the 9th of March 1858. A search in the NRS catalogue, I'll link to that below, tells us that the MC2/3 is the admission forms for March 1858. It would now be easy to find her admission forms. We have been working with a team of volunteers to index these records. Here is the index entry for Jean. As you can see, this entry is taken from that national register. We give you the full date of admission and the National Records of Scotland reference number, everything you need to take your search even further. You can either take these details and go to the National Records of Scotland, or you can commission us to do that for you. We mentioned earlier that those who were already in an asylum on the 1st of January 1858 are mentioned in the register, but there's no corresponding admission forms for them in the National Records of Scotland. With the date of admission, however, you can go to a local archive and see what they have. Simply click on the name of the asylum. You'll bring up a page with extra information. You can see the various names that asylum was under over its history. You can also see a link there to the National Library of Scotland where you can see a map. But also we've linked to the local archives that hold more records for this asylum. It might be that the patient was admitted before 1858, and so that is definitely the place to go. But even after 1858, it can be good to look at both sets of records to make sure you have the full information. You'll find on most of these pages some text from the 1857 Royal Commission report. That was looking at asylums and how to improve asylums and what the conditions were like in Asylum, so they can be really interesting. Our records are easy to search. You can either search from the home page or go into record sets. Hopefully you'll be able to find the entry you need, but if you need any help, please just get in touch and we shall do the best we can to help you.